Hey, welcome. Today, we are diving into a mental skill that honestly is an absolute must have for navigating the worlds we live in. It's called cognitive flexibility. We're talking about the key to making better decisions, learning things way faster, and let's be real, living a much less stressful life. All right, let's get into it.
But first, I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever just felt stuck? You know, that feeling like your own beliefs are kind of boxing you in, keeping you from seeing a better path forward? I think we've all been there. And it points to a really common mental trap. And that feeling? Well, that brings us right to our first section, the rigidity trap. This is the mental roadblock where so many of our biggest thinking mistakes really begin. So picture it like this. A rigid mind, that's like a brick wall, right? It's solid, it's unmoving, and when new information comes along, it just bounces right off. But a flexible mind, that's more like a river. It adapts, it flows around obstacles, and it takes in new streams of info, constantly changing its course just a little. That flow, that's exactly what we're aiming for. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we break down that brick wall and start flowing like a river? Well, it all starts with a really powerful shift in how we see ourselves. It's time to start thinking about your thinking.
So let's put a name on this skill. Cognitive flexibility. All it really means is having the ability to adapt your thinking. And this is the key part. It's about being willing to update your beliefs when you run into new, solid information. It's all about letting go of what you thought was true when you see better evidence. And the engine that powers this whole thing? It's a cool concept called metacognition. Seriously, this one's a game changer. Metacognition is just the practice of observing your own thoughts, almost from a distance. Think of it like you're the CEO of your own mind, looking down at how all the different departments are working. It's that ability to step back and just notice your own thought processes that makes all this flexibility possible. Okay, so we've got the problem and we've got the core concept. Now let's get practical. Let's build our mental toolkit with some real, actionable habits you can start using today. You know, it really just comes down to these 3 simple habits. First, you just observe your thoughts without judging them. That's your metacognition kicking in. Second, you start to shift away from thinking in black and white certainties, and you start thinking more in shades of gray, in probabilities. And third, you make it a goal to actively update your views when the evidence points you in a new direction. Let's just zoom in on that second habit for a sec, because it is so important. Look at the difference here. Absolute thinking sounds like, this plan will definitely work. There's no room for error there. But probabilistic thinking sounds more like, I'm about 75% confident this plan will work. You see that? That 25% of doubt? That's where the magic happens. That's where flexibility lives. It keeps you open to new information and to seeing problems before they happen. And all of this points to the ultimate goal. Look, being cognitively flexible isn't about being right all the time. I mean, nobody is. The real goal is to just become less wrong over time. It's about valuing the truth more than your own ego and having the guts to say, you know what? That new evidence is pretty good. I need to adjust my thinking. And when you start putting these habits together, you're not just learning some new trick. You are genuinely developing what is, for all intents and purposes, a cognitive superpower in this day and age. And why is this so important? Well, just look at the payoff. When you aren't so rigidly attached to one specific outcome, you make better decisions. When you can adapt to change, you feel so much less stress and anxiety. When you're open to the idea of being wrong, you learn things at a crazy fast rate. And when you can actually see things from someone else's perspective, you build way stronger, more meaningful relationships. If there is one single thing I hope you take away from all this, let it be this simple idea. The goal isn't to be right, it's to get it right. That one little shift in perspective, it reframes everything. It moves the focus from defending your ego to just trying to get closer to the truth. So, I'll leave you with a question to ponder. After everything we've just talked about, take a second, do a little metacognition. What's one belief you hold? Could be big, could be small, that you might be willing to look at with fresh eyes. What belief are you ready to rethink?